Woo! You got it.
Basically. No, what got me into hairdressing was, well, from when we had our options in school and we could decide what we wanted to do, and I was always more art and design orientated. I used to draw a lot of figures, especially women, and it would always be like freaky fashion, and like when I used to do little photo shoots, I would make clothes and I would make sure, even though I didn't know what I was doing, I would like put weird chains in people's hair and like, you know, really jazz it up. So like it wasn't necessarily the hair in, you know, my art and design, but I liked designing things. I like making things look pretty. And then I suppose I constantly cut my own hair for years. I think I've been every colour that you can imagine. I think the most exciting was purple and green. I went down, that was really fun. And then I went into fashion, and again that's hot. That's a complete catwalk fashion. That goes from clothes to accessories to makeup to your hair. And again, on all my figures and all my DDs, it was always the hair I focused on drawing. Hair and eyes. I didn't really care about the clothes. So then when it came to, I needed to decide what I want to do. I didn't want to go into fashion. So I applied for the hairdressing apprentice job. And I was very surprised that I got it, with the state that my hair was in, actually. Proper state. That's why I had it all cut off like within the first month that I worked there. And I wouldn't say it's cutting and colouring that I enjoy doing. It's hair up, bridal hair, avant-garde type things. That's more interests me. I don't really like perms and sets and boring elegant stuff. Well, most of what I enjoy men's hair. I know it doesn't seem very exciting, but men's hair you have to get spot on. You can't, like with women's hair, you can hide. I'm not saying I've ever done that, but you can hide mistakes. But with men's hair, it has to be perfect, and it's all about. That's all men have. They don't wear makeup. It's either, or you know, paint their nails or any of that. It's their fashion, their clothing, and their hair. That's what you focus on. That, like I said, colouring can be quite interesting, but you don't really have the applicants to come in and say, right, I want to go completely crazy. I want to be this colour. That I only know a few, but that's why I'm pink. I get along with boys much better than I do with girls. It's basically when I talk about stuff I'm interested in, women normally aren't interested. You get that awkward, oh, you know that really that awkward, oh, I wish I never started this conversation with you. I didn't have Barbies or anything like that. I had vintage toy cars, like proper cars that you would paint and put together. Yeah. I wouldn't have Barbies or any of that. So like, I'm like impelled from one, be girly, go shopping, do your hair, makeup, all that, and then I'm like, no, well I want to get my hands dirty and I want to take dirty parts off the car.
Yeah.
This is funny now. Boys always stare at me because they're like, oh look, it's good in lower car. Oh, you drive
Probably
past
love
and
it.
it's going scrape, scrape, scrape. 3 years.
3 years and 11 cars and 3.
Yeah, but like everyone who I tell, they're like, oh, how many of those did you write off then? It's like, none of them! You just get bored really easily. You'll see now, like with the saxo, how much money I've put into the saxo, and I've just left it in a ditch basically.
Yeah.
There's been about 4 times where I've broken down, because my cars are very unreliable, and I've had a car full of men That sounds really bad. A car full of boys, I'll say. It sounds even worse. And they'll get out and I'll pop my bonnet and whatnot and I'll be getting all the stuff out my boot ready to fiddle, and they won't have a clue what they're doing. They won't have a clue where they're looking. All they can see, for example, is maybe some oil that's spilling out of my bloody, I was going to call it camshaft then, my bloody sump, or, you know, they just haven't got a clue. So then it's me getting on my hands and knees and getting dirty, or jacking the car up, or changing a tyre, and they're too frightened to get their Fred Perry trainers dirty. Or, for instance, when my dad lived here, because he left when I was 9, I think. When he lived here, it was always my mum doing the decorating. They both worked, if anything, as much as each other, because my mum was a DJ and my dad was a promoter of the club that my mum was a residential DJ at. And they travelled the world, so really I wasn't here a lot of the time. But when we was here and something needed doing, well, like my bedroom, or even with the cars, my dad wouldn't do it. He wouldn't touch it, and he wouldn't cook. So my mum, basically, she would decorate that. You know, she would decorate the whole house. She would cook. She would clean. She'd fix the cars. She'd be taking them for their MOTs. She'd be taking me out. So, in a sense, my mum is a very, very strong woman. So I'll never be half as good as her. I can't cook and I can't clean, but in terms of being influenced or having that father figure, it's never really bothered me, and it's never been here. It was exactly the same when my dad left to when he was here. So everything I've learned off my mother, and it basically shows that women aren't just good for standing behind a hot stove. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can do a lot more. A lot more.